Thanks for stopping by. My name is Jerry. I'm a filmmaker and educator, and this is a little thing I call the creative process, where I just make a space for us to create together. So I hope you'll drop in the comments what you're working on, and today I'm going to be editing a short horror film that I made for Halloween for Trick or Treat for my neighborhood. So let's jump into it. Thank you so much for stopping by. Like I said, my name is Jerry, and if this is the first time you're here, this is basically a way for me to stay accountable on some personal projects. In between running this YouTube and teaching full-time, sometimes I forget to work on my own stuff. So this gives me a chance to do this. But also what I'm in the process of doing is taking this live, so we'll be able to create in real time together. Basically, I want to create a place that we can work together, but also communicate with each other and share our knowledge. And so today I'm going to be working on a short horror film, a little experimental film of some footage around my neighborhood, and I'm about halfway through the edit, so I basically set a 30-minute timer. We're going to see where we get, and we're going to just work through it, so let's go. So you will also see today that I am live cutting, and so this is going to be something that I do in the future where I can actually interact with you. So I want to do that because I don't want to just work alone in here, and I also want to see what you're working on. And so today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to work on a short horror film. Where's my mouse? I've already got like a rough cut going of it. And so we're going to look through that. But basically my goals for this was to basically have a short horror film that I could show off for Halloween. I wanted to play this horror film while kids are trick-or-treating at my house. And it's also made up of footage around my home. So my neighborhood really went into it. Which was pretty cool, and so that allowed me some time to play around with the footage, and I also wanted to play around with some of the effects that were in Blackmagic and in Davinci Resolve. I'm not a big filter guy, and I know that a lot of people are, and I want to see what's kind of possible. Usually I do a lot of stuff in camera, so I just shot this all on my iPhone, and so that's something I've been challenging myself over the last couple of years, is to do more of that when I'm teaching. And so I want to make sure that I have that available. And like I said, you're going to get to see everything today. You're going to get to see all of the behind the scenes. You're going to get to see everything that I'm doing, and I'm doing it in real time. So I'm not going to cut anything out. So if you want to see just like highlights after I'm recorded, I'll try to put some timestamps below so you can do that. But let's look at this footage. Right now I have about 3 minutes of footage on the timeline. And you can see that up here. I got 3 minutes. But let's look and see what we have inside of here. So if I come back into my B-roll that I took on my phone, you're going to be able to see kind of all of the footage that I took. And basically I did it all kind of at night. I'm also using Davinci Resolve's free iPhone app. Never had used that before, but very, very cool. Lots of functionality. The only negative to it is going to be that you don't there's no ND filters, and you can't really change the f-stop, at least on the iPhone that I have. That might be different on somebody else's, but something to keep in mind. Oh, that's not the right thing. There we go. One of the perks of live cutting. So at this point, if this is something that you enjoy and you want to get notified when I start going live, make sure you like, subscribe, and also please drop a comment below of what you're working on. I want to see your projects. That's the whole point of this. Usually I would be in class and I would be able to see everybody's rough cuts around this time of kind of their first big project. And so I'm missing that. So if you're working on something, please let me know about it. What I want to show you really quick is the before and after of these. So this was some footage that I shot of one of my Halloween decorations that's around the neighborhood. I have nothing kind of there. But then I went into here and now you can see I've added some music and everything. So we're going to look at that. And this is one of the perks of all the live editing that I'll have to do. So it's a lot of things in real time, but what I am enjoying about it, and I've never really done this before except for in a broadcast environment, is I'm able to edit it in real time, which allows you to see how I will cut it later. And so one of the things that I want to explore with this is like, how can I use this, you know, even maybe using like a 2 or 3 camera setup. If you were making a short film, you could plug them all in and you could do a little bit of live switching as well. So I don't know. I think there's some interesting things to do. So let's go back. And instead of doing that this time, I'm just going to make this screen a little bigger for you. Hey, there we go. So what I did is I played with some filters that were in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm going to show you those now. And so if I come into the effects, you're going to see a lot of this is what is called analog damage. I am using the paid version of DaVinci Pro. And so just something to keep in mind, I don't know if this is in the free version. But so, yeah, we have like this 1960s kind of black and white, which I really like the high contrast. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to try to make it feel like it was from a lot of different time periods. And so I wanted to play with the past. I wanted to play with the future. And for me, this was just an experiment to see what I could do with all of these different filters. What could I do with an iPhone? Could I make you feel uncomfortable? And then if you see up here at the very beginning, it's like you're watching like a TV that's coming on for the first time. And then I played with the little 666 for Halloween. But let's check it out. All right. So I'm also playing with, there's a filter in here that allows you to make it into a security cam footage. And so this was from a camera that is very, very cheap. I made a video for it before I moved into this house, and it was, I think the video was called, I'll drop it below, but like how an $18 camera experiment like made me make my next film. And so, but I have this, what looks like almost like a police body cam kind of footage. It was very, very chintzy. I bought the cheapest camera I could find to just see if it would work, and it did. But I ended up just going around my old house before I moved out, and I was making a little experimental film. There I am. It's called Norton. I showed going through all of this footage, so I'm not going to waste your time in a previous creative process. I'll drop a link below. But this camera was called like a body cam or a sports action cam, and so we have footage from it. But what it ended up looking like, let me find the original footage here. So this is what it looks like now, and if we zoom in and turn this off, you see that I've moved it all around, and it's kind of upside down. So this has like a pivoting head on top of it, and allows you to do that. But I wanted this to look like, because I'm working on another experimental film that I'll edit at some point on here. I'm editing in alone because this one is taking a little bit more time than I expected. But I have that as well. So what I want to do today is I want to kind of clean all this up, and I want to get rid, I think I'm just going to go straight 4:3. So I'm going to put some cropping on here. I don't want the little rounded edges, I don't think, as much. But let's see really quick. So if I come into here, if I turn this off, you'll see what it looks like. Turn it back on. And then you can play with a lot of these filters to get like that vignetting and stuff. What's also interesting is you can change the noise, you can change the signal strength, which is, if you are a 90s kid, this would have been going around and actually having to like adjust antenna ears and things. And when I started this project, I was like, oh, could I live broadcast it to an actual TV? And then the TV that I had, the little CRTV, I plugged in an adapter and smoke started coming out of it. So I had to get rid of that, so it wasn't a problem. But so now I think I might just make like a little, I don't know, a box that goes around my computer, or I might drag a TV out in the driveway. I don't know. If anybody has an old CRT TV in Southern California that's, you know, within an hour of LA that wants to find a new home, then I guess drop that in the comments and let me know, and I'll come pick it up for you. But the one that started to show smoke and everything was, that's a hard pass. So let's jump back in here really quick. All right. So this is my pup. Yeah. Bronson passed away over the summer, so this is some footage of, was actually, it's kind of sad, but the last week that he was with us. He was almost 15, or he was 15 years old, and he's an old dude, and so here he is sleeping. And so just really enjoy the time that you have with your pets. This one I put a kind of a crossfade in because I wanted to get really, really blurry, and then I wanted it to come back. But what I want to try really quick is see if I just put a crop on here. If you don't know how to use any, let me jump into this really quick. If you don't know how to use DaVinci Resolve, or you don't know how to edit or anything like that, this is not going to be that video. But I have some tutorials, and I'll drop links to those as well. They'll kind of pop up on the screen. So if you want to go watch how to edit or how to screenwrite, any of those kind of things. So this is just working through it. so there we go. In this cropping here, I want to see, oh, okay. So that's not gonna work. So that's cropping off of the video, not off the effect. So let's see here. Oh, TV construction, edge mask. Okay, so if I turn off the edge mask, let me see if I can now crop it. No, okay. I've never done this before, so we're gonna learn together. That's one of the perks of the creative process here is I don't know everything. For one, I've never done this before, and oh, interesting. Okay, just CRT framing, V hold. Oh, interesting. Okay. The V hold is cool. This is let me see really quick. All right. So if you've never done we're getting into some really interesting things. So if you've never seen an old TV before, the VHF, UHF, a lot of different things, but basically signals used to come over the air. If you already know this, you can bypass this part of the video, but the signal would come over the air and sometimes it would get interrupted. And there were like these dials on the front of the TV where you could basically start to do it to get it to actually line back up. There are a lot more people on the internet who know a lot more about this, so I'll let them talk about it. But you could look up. But it kind of makes me feel like makes me feel like an old TV, which is kind of cool. So when I'm going into here, let me turn this down a little bit. Whenever I pop into this part here, I decided to go into full resolution. So you'll go back into kind of that 4K mode. And I wanted to play with each of the different resolutions to just kind of see what happened. And the whole goal behind this film was to think that basically you're watching a TV, it's changing between all of them, but it's also changing between all the different formats. And so that's something I wanted to play with. I didn't know what was going to come of it, so that's why we're here now. But I knew that I wanted to play with different horror tropes. At some point, my wife brought up an interesting point of I could make like a horror loops. That's why it's called horror vibe loops. Kind of like almost like a Yule log, but for horror films. And I don't have enough footage for that yet, but I do think it's kind of interesting. And I'm going to keep building on it because I think as you just go out and you keep practicing and you keep learning and you learn how to manipulate the camera and you learn that less is more, all these kind of things start to fall into the creative process of you trying to figure out what you're doing. And also, I just think it's fun to go out and film by yourself sometimes. I don't always have a whole crew around, but if I find something interesting in here, then, I kind of catalog that for later and I can use it in a future project, which is neat. Not every project has to be perfect. That's not what we're trying to accomplish here. So this was for basically consider it like a stalker movie. And then it kind of pops back into different channels. And I wanted each of them to feel, so if you watched it multiple times, there's different styles of the video. And so you could see that it's like somebody changing channels. Once again, I really wanted to have somebody actually be able to change the channel, but my TV kind of exploded, which is not great. And then there's Happy Halloween. I want to make a better graphic. I think I'm going to have to build that by scratch. This was just kind of text that went in there. But what I want to do now is I want to kind of play with some of these filters and see what I like. And I think I like this one here. I think I like this black and white one. So there's 1960s black and white, 1960s black and white. Okay. So what's interesting about this is it gets rid of all of the color, which I think was what I enjoyed. But now what I need to do is I think I need to just change the color on this a little bit to make it a little brighter. So I'm going to go in here into my color and I'm going to try to bring some stuff up here. Oh, I like the white eyes. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see what that looks like. When you're going from color to black and white, because I filmed everything in color, it's more than just desaturating the image. You're actually going to have to you're going to have to find like the actual balance of the contrast. And so this was just an, like a filter that was put on there basically. So you can kind of see it here. But it went to black and white, which is kind of cool. I think I want to keep that static going a little bit longer. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. I can't remember what I put the static on. Was it on this? So there is channel 6. Ooh, did I miss a piece? So this is running a little slow. I'm running it through a switcher and a bunch of other things, and so it's really tapping my processor here. Okay. Go ahead and save. Okay, so I need to get I think this is going to be channel 9. Let me see really quick. Ooh, went over the top of it. Ooh, what happened here? Ooh. Oh, I see what's happening. So it's trying to grab that part down there and didn't want to move. So let's go up to here. And oh, I forgot I made these as actual graphics. So I have them over here. Channel graphics. Okay, so this is going to be channel... need to change the titles. Let's go to channel 21. And the reason I did 21 is because that was my favorite number as a kid. So there's always a choice for everything while you're doing what you want to do. All right. So this one's not going to have a channel. This is going to have a channel. This is going to have a channel. I need to save these actual dimensions in the transform. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those, copy them. I just Command C, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to go paste attributes. And then I just want to keep them in position on there. So now it's going to yank it up here. And now I have channel 21. Eventually what I want to do as I'm going through this is, ooh, are we back? Eventually what I want to do is I want to add a motion flicker on that as well. Like it's not getting the same thing. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take the actual, I'm going to have to take whatever the filters I put on the footage, and then I'm going to have to paste them onto the actual audio or on the video itself. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, too much static because I am on a clear background. Okay. Yeah. So what I could probably do is I wonder if I can go into this. If I go back into my settings, here into my filters, and then type into analog, that's in my, so like if I drop this on top of it, let's see. Ooh. And let's go back to 1970s and see. Okay. Interesting. So it looks good on that part. What happens if I crop it from the bottom here and get rid of all of that? And then maybe if I make it a little bit more opaque. Interesting. Okay. All right. So that's going to be a little bit of a process to figure out exactly what happens there. I'm just going to get rid of that. Keep on doing it. There we go. So I'm going to have to figure out that part. That might not happen during this video. So that's 21. And then these ones that are here, these are off of like VHS cameras. And so, well, they're not. They're off of my iPhone, but I have them make them look like they're VHS cameras. And then this was going to be just like police cam footage. So I have the date on it, so I don't want that to have a video number or a, and then this is supposed to be like kind of real time, like it's here in the now. And there's channel 6 again, which is the Halloween footage. This is also channel 6. So let's just keep stretching this out. Channel 6. And this is also 6. This is me playing with the original. This part right here is me playing with the original, the stalkerish footage. And so every version of this ended up being a different style of horror movie. I haven't made a horror movie in a while. It's probably been 6 or 7 years at this point. I have made a lot of experimental films, but one of the things that I like about horror movies is the way that there's like this visceral response with the actual framing and everything like that. You can make somebody feel uncomfortable very, very quickly, especially if you know the tone is a horror movie. So what happens if you take that kind of tone and then you apply it to another film? So like a drama or a comedy or anything like that. I think that's where you get some of those kind of really funny things that come through, especially in like horror comedies when they combine them together and everything. All right. Ooh, there I am. Okay, so this is the last little bit here, and this one is kind of simple. I wanted to start combining the two worlds together here, and I think what I'm gonna have to do is maybe turn this off. Let me see really quick. Okay, so I want 6 over that one. So get rid of that, get rid of that. That's still channel 6 there. And let's see, this is technically, yeah, here we go. Like he kind of falls down and drops the camera a little bit. And so now what I want to play with is, how much time do we have? We have 8 minutes. The whole goal was to do this in 30 minutes just to show like sometimes we just have to move forward with everything. So we have like 1960s. We have, maybe we take this back into color here. Let me see. Color. Oh, interesting. Scan lines, image aspect. Oh, H shift. We're gonna put that over a little. Oh, I like it off center a little bit. V shift. Vertical blanking. Oh, okay. That's just kind of like the in between. I want it to look like there's multiple cameras, so that works a little bit. Line sharpness. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Line frequency. Oh, I like those colored lines. So this is a very interesting little effect because I can get all of those things in there. And I own VHS cameras and all kinds of things. I'm actually trying to play with this kind of high 8 right here. I need to make sure I can get it attached into all this system, but I really enjoy these old cameras and how they kind of make you think a little bit more about like what's the effect you're actually going for. If I want you to feel uncomfortable, if I wanted to feel like it's a different home movie, if I wanted to feel like it's a security cam footage, there's a lot of different things you can play with. And so 4, oh, sorry. This is one of the perks. I'm back. I really wanted to show you kind of everything that I see because I think when we're going through this kind of creative process, I think a lot of times we leave out all those tiny, tiny little choices. So like, you know, like this footage here, if I turn this off, let me go really quick. Oh, it's up here. So if I turn this off, this is kind of what it looked like. I had to move it around, put everything there, but now that it's on, it looks like this, like the version of what I want it to look like. I wanted it to be really grainy. I wanted it to be kind of hard to look at. And so, like I said, this is going to be a film that is going to be played outside at night, and I want it to be available for all the people that are trick-or-treating. Like, so I want to set the kind of tone with it. That's why I have the music that I have. And trash is coming by, so it just got really, really loud. So I wanted to play with different effects. That's something for me, so I can try to explore something different with pretty low stakes, which is good. I think that's something you should be playing with as a filmmaker or any kind of artist or any kind of creative, is just trying to play with different tools. Also, like I said, I wanted to play with my phone and use that as the camera. I've never really done that, but when I teach, I ask students to do that all the time, because for the most part, the camera you have in your pocket is almost better than a lot of these other cameras, especially because it's so readily accessible and you have it with you all the time. So when I've just been taking walks around the neighborhood, I've been filming it. And they're the different displays and everything that keeps setting up, you know, besides this part right here, like this footage here was from my old house for a different experimental film, but I thought it was still kind of cool because it's this very, you know, like security cam-ish footage. So we have 4 minutes, and what I want to do is I want to see if I can make a better graphic. And let's see. So I'm gonna do this in Canva. Let me switch my screen really quick. All right, so you should see this. And what we're gonna do is, you can see I have a lot of all the thumbnails for this channel, how they've changed over time. And so these are things that I'm now using as kind of the reference point, but I want to make a, I want to make one that is for the Happy Halloween kind of thing, just like as an end graphic. So I'm going to type in here, end title graphic movie. I don't know what they're going to have in here, but I want it to be a little bit better than what I currently have. Ooh, this is kind of nice with the flickering. Let's see, how much time do I have? 3.5 minutes. I do like all the static and everything over that, but I think it's too much. Ooh, the whites. All right, I'm just gonna go with this one because I only have 3 minutes. So I'm gonna customize this template and let's do it. Okay, so let's go. Let's do it big here. Oh, that's not how you spell Halloween. I'm gonna keep it in probably in the 4-3 kind of blocks, and then from Bronson Creative. Nah, we'll just put it afterwards. Okay, so I'm gonna move this up to the middle here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. What do I got? 2.5 minutes. What else is going on in here? This is like an old-timey movie. Oh, I realize I'm not even showing it. Here we go. Boom, boom. I'll fix that in post. Okay, so I picked this kind of old-timey one. I'm not going to use the music. That's way too much, but I just wanted to have this first part. So what I'm going to do now with the 2 minutes that I have left is I'm going to download it as an MP4 video. We can leave it as 1080. It's totally fine. But let me see if I put something on here. Let's get rid of that. Uploads are the Bronson Creative. Oh, where are they at? Yeah, there we go. Let's see if it does the... Okay. Perfect. Background remover, get rid of the black so all of that flicker comes through. Let's move it back a layer. And let's see what we got. So share, download. Oh, we only got 1 minute. We'll just download it. 59 seconds. Okay, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. So this is about as stressful when I made my first film, which was a 10-hour film. I'm gonna put it up in a couple of weeks and kind of break it down with a little behind the scenes and everything. But working on these little timelines, I think even for somebody that's been doing it as long as I have, just brings it up a little bit and also just forces you to make some choices a little faster, which I think is great. So this is exporting out now. I'm gonna put it into the final video. I'll drop a link here to where you can watch the film. I hope you have a happy Halloween next week, and I will see you next time.